Ghana Gas is willing to cut even our price at the offtake point at Atuabo down. And we also entreat the others to do the same. Particularly, we do not want to see a situation where LPG that is produced locally turns out to be more expensive than one that is imported.
Please subscribe.
And how we are sustaining that. Good question. What we are doing is basically ensuring that we do train and continue to train our staff at the highest level, so they'll be able to control the facilities, to be able to run the facilities at the highest level as expected. So there will be no need to bring in any expatriate staff who will be taking more money than we want to pay. So, and I think that is important. And during the COVID, we kept it down a bit, but now we're trying to get them to go out to do that. Then there was a Gas Act. The Gas Act really is a legislative instrument that will provide the necessary legal impetus to run the gas industry. For instance, if there's Ghana Gas today and we don't have any protective legislative instrument, and there's a government change, anything can happen. But when you have an act that protects you, whether in terms of the pricing, whether in terms of your operations, I think that would give some stability to the country. So that's the importance of that Gas Act, to provide that legal impetus for all the things that I talked about as well. Global Gas Center, I was called to join a team of about 15 people who looks after how gas really should be managed around the world. It's we deal more with the United Nations, and it's not a government selection. They just come and they pick you to help contribute to how we manage gas resources around the world, particularly in this era of decarbonization. So I was only inducted into it just 2 months ago in Cairo, and I was just privileged to, at that time, and now I'm the only black person on there. I'm hoping we can get some more. I think Ghana Gas, of course, condensate is one of our products. Some people call it byproducts, but condensate certainly is one of our products. And you can use condensate with, I think around 95, to be able to do the premix fuel. We've had discussions with NPA. We've had discussions, who else is really involved in that discussion? Yes, Seaboard. And we're doing everything we can to make sure that we are able to use the condensates that we take to TOR. And TOR, of course, is one of the parties as well. So the blending of the condensates with the RON 95 to get to maybe RON 92 or 91 will help with not just the production of premix, but also with some gasoline as well. If it should be known, the ministry had a higher level meeting, and the presidency as well. That is how important they take this. So Ghana Gas is going to do everything we can to make sure that this premix happens. Now, when it comes to the pricing, you must understand that there is a slate of prices or a price build-up. The commodity itself is one of them, but there are others that also contribute to the pricing. And we are talking to all those stakeholders to ensure that the price of the commodity to the end user is something that will be reasonable. Gas price, and again, let me just differentiate between gas and then the LPG. I know LPG is liquefied petroleum gas, and sometimes we feel a little lazy to add the L and the P, so we call everything gas. So I know you were talking about LPG, because the other gas, which we deal with, 90% of it, goes underground, it goes straight for power generation. And it's got a uniform price that is set by PURC. But let's assume that you're talking about LPG. LPG pricing, like the condensate, also it's one that has got a build-up. For now, it's consigned to an off-taker who certainly transports it. They do a bit of, I would say, conditioning. So the price that comes to your doorstep or that comes to the station has got the build-up of all those, including ours. So what I think we are trying to do now, and we've talked to PRC and we've talked to the ministry about it, is Ghana Gas is willing to cut even our price at the offtake point at Atuabu down. And we also entreat the others to do the same. Particularly, we do not want to see a situation where LPG that is produced locally turns out to be more expensive than one that is imported. So we've had a series of meetings, and I think we are willing and ready. And in fact, we've taken the steps to make sure that we cut down those prices. Now, I should also say that the prices are not just unilateral. They are guided by world benchmarks, ours by Argos. So we are even going below what Argos suggests to make sure that a Ghanaian consumer can be able to take this. A benchmark or an upper limit in terms of our revenue stream that we use to do some of these CSR projects, including AstroTurfs. So if yours comes in and it's in line, it certainly will get to your turn. But we will do whatever we can for those areas that I mentioned, not just sports or AstroTurfs for that matter, but health, education, water and sanitation, and certainly sports as well. If you're able to submit a request in a needy area, we certainly will send our CSR team over there. They will assess it and will be more than willing to help with that situation. We also help, needy patients, people with issues such as failing kidneys and all that. We pick specific issues like this as well. When they come to us, we do not turn them away. We help send them to places. If they can't be helped here, they have to go to South Africa or India. We do sponsor them. So we are very sensitive to issues like that as well. So if you get to know anyone like that, please let us know. I also had a discussion with the GA president not too long ago. I said we are willing to sponsor 2 journalists in the oil and gas industry to pursue some program, masters or whatever. So it would enhance their knowledge. 2. I'm still waiting. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Looking for that.
Please subscribe.